Hi everybody, welcome back to the British family. I'm Emily. Today what we're going to be talking about really quickly is some great ideas for upcycling and recycling different containers that you will invariably have lying around the house, whether you're in lockdown or not, to grow your seeds in so that you don't have to go down to the garden centre and buy yet more plastic with the specific intention of growing seeds inside it. So we start with something that most people will have on a daily basis lying around the house, and that is newspaper. This is probably something that everybody up and down the country does. It's something I've been doing for years, but just really simply using a can, simply just rolled up, folding in the bottom, and you can either leave it like that and just use its own weight to hold itself down, which it does, or you can put a little bit of sellotape on the bottom. What you do have to remember then is that you will have to take the seedling out before you plant it into the garden. If you create your pots like this with no plastics in them at all, then once the seedling is ready to be transplanted, you can just pick it up, plant it as is with the newspaper around it, and actually it will biodegrade and grow quite nicely on from there. So that's number one. Different tins, different sizes, depending on the seeds that you are growing, always very useful. And again, anything that is cylindrical, basically. Next one is one, again, that is probably quite widely known and done, is the good old toilet roll tube, or a kitchen roll tube cut in half. You can even cut this in half if you want really, really little starters, and just filled up with earth, placed on a baking tray or anything that isn't going to mind getting watered for a few weeks whilst your seedlings establish. These are particularly good for anything with a slightly longer root. So anything where you're going to eat the root, particularly so carrots, radishes, things like that, are better in a toilet roll tube, because it gives that initial tap root somewhere to really grow to. So there's number two. Number three is a bit of a new one for me, and I'm kicking myself that I haven't thought about this before. But as we get into the soft fruit season, so your plums, nectarines, peaches and so on, even grape boxes, all come in these ghastly plastic containers when bought at the supermarket, and even some kind of farm shops and so on. They're great for carrying the soft fruit around, but they're not brilliant for recycling. But they make fantastic seed trays. And when I couldn't find any seed trays a few weeks ago when I wanted some on my very last visit to the garden centre, I came home and came across these and thought, actually, that does perfectly. It's got the holes in the bottom for, I'm guessing, aeration for the fruit, but that works perfectly for drainage holes. So a couple of weeks ago, I planted up this one. This has got marigold seeds in, ready to go, not too far distant future. Lucan and I, 3 days ago, planted some courgette seeds in here. So these haven't really done much yet, but you kind of get the idea. Another reuse of something plastic are drinking cups. This is Lucan's sunflower seeds that he's growing for a competition. And again, it's really, really useful, and it's brilliant for kids because inside the plastic they can actually see the roots, and it's a really good kind of way of getting them to understand the life cycle of a plant whilst the plant actually has half a chance of growing. Finally, and here's a bit of Blue Peter magic, egg boxes. This is actually one of the splitters that they had at the supermarket that was just going to go into the rubbish. And I asked and said, please, can I have it because it's useful to me? And they said, yeah, absolutely fine. How many do you want? But I would normally grow my peas in some guttering. I don't have any this year and obviously can't get any. And so I'm going to give it a go growing my peas in one of these egg trays. So just for a bit of make do, I'm going to do a quick scatter of earth. There's nothing too special about this. This is just regular compost that I bought from the garden centre. I would probably normally do this outside because it's likely to get a bit messy, but audio is not quite so good outside. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill them right up to the tops, so that just the very top of each of the little egg compartments is poking through. You have these little diamond shapes that are just poking through, and that hopefully means that I can put each seed into its little compartment, and then it will be ready to go. So I'm simply going to try not to lose too many onto the floor, and just put one pea into each compartment, and hopefully what that will do is it will mean that it grows as an individual plant. I always have problems with my peas because they end up bunched together, and when I split them apart, all that happens is that I kill them. So I'm hoping that this method will actually allow me to have, oh look at that, almost perfect, almost the sort of perfect way of growing them. So all I'm going to do is just tuck them in, and then I will give them a little bit of a water in a minute and put them on the windowsill, and I'll let you know. Check us out on Instagram. I'll let you know how they get on. And if you've got any brilliant ideas and tips and tricks of how to grow things without necessarily having to go down to the garden centre and invade plastic, please let us know. Comment down below, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.